Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Thursday, September 1st, 2022, and giving your 3 parlay picks, match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, make sure to watch till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Our first pick is Pittsburgh Panthers vs West Virginia Mountaineers. West Virginia plus 7.5 points. It's the backyard brawl to open the season for Pittsburgh and West Virginia. It's also the former USC QB Bowl, as a pair of Trojan transfers will start for each team. JT Daniels is now the starter for the Mountaineers, and Keaton Slovis, a former Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, takes the snaps for the Panthers. Even though Pitt returned 7 starters on offense, they lost some key pieces from their ACC championship team last year. Most notably, QB Kenny Pickett left for the NFL, and standout wide receiver Jordan Addison departed for, coincidentally, USC. West Virginia brings a new scheme with new offensive coordinator Graham Harrell, who was with Daniels at USC. That should be a plus for the Mountaineers. WVU also returns all 5 starters on their offensive line, which will get a huge test from the Pitt pass rush, which was second in the nation last year in sacks per game. That will be the key for the Mountaineers as they transition to a pass-first offense, which should have success against a defense that was ranked 119th in the nation in passing yards allowed last season. The Panthers are 8-17 at TS over the last 10 years at home as a favorite of over 7 points. This is a good spot for the Mountaineers to steal a surprise win. I'll take the 7.5 and even put a money line sprinkle down as well. Our second parlay pick is Tennessee Volunteers vs Ball State Cardinals. Tennessee minus 33.5 points. Ball State, 6-7, 4-4 last season, opens the season traveling to Neyland Stadium to face the Tennessee Vols, 7-6, 4-4 last season. Ball State closed the season with a 31-point loss to Georgia State in the Crampton Bowl on Christmas Day, and no one expects them to go into one of the most hostile venues in college football and succeed on opening week. Tennessee opens with lots of hope and one of the most exciting offenses in football. It took a few weeks for first-year coach Josh Heupel to establish his breakneck speed of play, but Tennessee closed the season as one of the more electric teams in the nation, setting a school record for most points in a season. They will score in bunches, no question. The point spread is a big number, but the Volunteers bring back a lot of experience, and their offense should hit the ground running from week 1. Ball State will likely be overwhelmed. Neyland Stadium seats 100,000 fans who have big dreams, and the Cardinals should struggle to move the football consistently. Tennessee's defense was not their calling card last season, but it is still one of the best defenses Ball State is going to face. 7 of Ball State's top 8 tacklers were lost to graduation from a defense that surrendered 26.5 points per game. Datavian Woodward registered a team-high 5 sacks, but the pass rush as a whole was not steady enough. The Tennessee Volunteers start the 2022 campaign just outside the top 25, but have the talent to make significant strides for second-year head coach Josh Heupel. Senior QB Hendon Hooker returns after throwing for close to 3,000 yards while posting a 31-3 touchdown to interception ratio. WR Cedric Tillman eclipsed the 1,000-yard receiving mark and hauled in 12 touchdowns for a Tennessee offense that averaged 39.3 points per game. Tennessee plays an aggressive brand of defense and broke a school record with 102 tackles for loss a season ago. The Volunteers will generate enough pressure, but the secondary must improve after ranking last in the SEC conference in pass defense. Any sluggish start for the Cardinals will have them buried fast. Tennessee should cover the number, even if they call off the Dogs late. Penn State vs Purdue. Penn State minus 3.5 points. The Purdue Boilermakers, led by offensive-minded head coach Jeff Brom, will play host to James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions as both teams kick off their 2022-2023 season. This will be the 12th time in 13 years that Penn State will open conference play on the road, including 7 straight seasons. Coach Franklin promptly made that known to the press in his most recent media session. Both coaches are highly regarded, and with a conference game to begin the season, both teams should be ready for this Thursday night battle. When asked if Brom likes opening the season with conference play, Brom mentioned how it helps to sharpen the focus of the team in the offseason when you are playing a quality opponent. Purdue is coming off an impressive 9-4 season that was capped off by a bowl game victory over Tennessee. The Boilermakers enter this season after losing star receiver David Bell and first-round defensive end George Karlaftis to the NFL, as well as their second receiver Milton Wright, due to being academically ineligible. Even despite this, six-year quarterback Aidan O'Connell returns after an uber-efficient season that resulted in a 71.6% completion percentage, 28 touchdowns, and the fifth-best QBR in the nation. Wide receiver Brock Thompson and tight end Durham Payne will highlight the returning skill position players alongside a pair of Iowa transfers in Tyrone Tracy and Charlie Jones. Defensively, there are question marks surrounding their defensive secondary, and the overall depth of the team is somewhat of a question. Penn State has no such depth problem, as Coach Franklin highlighted that as one of the main differences between this year's roster and the prior two seasons. The Nittany Lions will also return a sixth-year quarterback of their own in the experienced Sean Clifford. Clifford struggled last season with staying healthy, leading to a 7-6 season, but reports from camp sound as though he is at full strength and ready to go. He threw 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions last season, with more than 3,100 yards, and will enter his first season with the same offensive coordinator as the year before. First-round draft pick wide receiver Jahan Dotson is gone from the team, but 6'1" Western Kentucky transfer Mitchell Tinsley is coming off an 87-catch season that resulted in more than 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns and is set to lead this year's core. These teams are very similar in terms of quality coaching, experience at important positions and overall talent. I do expect a bounce-back season from the Nittany Lions before a true breakout season next year, and I expect that to start in Week 1. Look for Penn State to use its depth and talent to its advantage and beat Purdue by at least 4, just as it has done in these teams' last 9 matchups dating back to 2005. These teams are very similar to one another as they play well defensively and have veteran quarterbacks in their program, so this game should be close. However, the Nittany Lions are doing well and should dominate here as they have a slightly better defense and offense. Kickers are going to play a big part of this game, as senior kicker Jake Pinniger has a career 72.5 field goal percentage for the Nittany Lions, while senior kicker Mitchell Finneran has a career 78.8 field goal percentage, so there is no real advantage there. The Nittany Lions are 3-0-1 against the spread in their previous 4 games against one another, so go with the Penn State Nittany Lions to cover. The Penn State Nittany Lions have been doing well and are looking for senior quarterback Sean Clifford to take another step forward in order to get into the postseason this year. Looking at his 2021 stats, he finished with a 61 completion percentage for 3,107 yards with 21 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions. He faced the Boilermakers in 2019, where he went 20 of 29 for 264 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception through the air, and 11 rushing attempts for 33 yards, 3 yards per carry, with an additional rushing touchdown. This offense has a lot of receptions available as wide receiver Jahan Dotson is no longer on the team after being drafted and was the top wide receiver, so this offense is going to look a little different heading into the 2022 season.